Hello, welcome back to the Channel of Nonsense. Welcome to ABR Festival 2026. And probably the only bike I'm going to ride here, other than my own one. It's a bike I'm very interested in because it's a Chinese alternative to what I've already got. Look what we've got here. It is a Moto Morini X-Cape 700. This is the gold edition. So this is £6,700. And it uses, wait for it, a 693cc parallel twin of 71 horsepower, 68 newton meters of torque. It's got gold rims. It's got Pirelli Scorpion STR tyres. That ring any bells? Yeah, it is a bit like the Chinese Tenere this. Well, it's made in China, it's designed and partially developed in Italy, except we've got a 19-inch front here. You can get it with non-spoked wheels. This gold edition has these lovely spoked items. I think the 2011 Honda Fireblade wants its headlight back, but as usual with these Chinese bikes, it's got heated seats, heated grips as standard. You've got Brembo brakes, switchable ABS, fully adjustable Marzocchi forks as well. You've got 175mm of travel, and you've also got a remote preload adjuster for the Kayaba shock down here. Now, we'll talk about this when we're riding, but you've got a 7-inch TFT on here as well. There we go, it's very dusty here. Apologies for that. That's nice and bright. Yeah, we'll see how we go. I'm going to hop on, stop yapping because it's too hot to be standing around talking. Right, we're going to take the X-Cape 700 for a loop at the Bridgestone Trail at ABR. As usual, the big thing here is the value prospect. Is 6,700 quid. What are you missing out on? I can already tell you the engine doesn't have the same instant punch as my T7. It's a 180 degree crank. I think it is essentially a bored out Ninja 650 motor, taking 693cc. It's 71 horsepower, as I said. And has got a bit of a flat spot low down. And I'm not 100% sure I've managed to turn the ABS off, so we'll find out. I've certainly turned the TC off. Right, riding position standing up, bar's quite low. I'm quite tall though, so it's a bit of a reach down. Front brake feels got a nice sort of soft bite to it. It's kind of what you want for off-road. Rear brake's powerful enough. Lever's a bit lower than I'd like, but so far this feels like it's an alright, almost, well not quite half price, £5 off T7 adjacent thing. While I'm just bimbling along here, you've got a 33.3 inch seat height, but it doesn't feel that high, to be honest. It feels alright, but I'm tall. It feels quite approachable. It's got quite a comfy seat as well. My only issue is the pegs feel quite small, so I do wonder if I'm going to get foot cramp by the end of today. Off and on the throttle in second gear at 20 miles an hour is a bit abrupt, but now I'm used to a very beautifully tuned Tenere 700. Finding it a bit harder to lock into than my T7. The tank is narrow and it does widen out, but it's quite slippery. So I'm just locking my boots against the seat halfway down the bike. It's not quite as natural riding position as the T7. It's dusty! The front's washing through there. Oh my god, it's so dusty. Okay, how's it dealing with those rocks? I have to say, definitely noticed the fact it hasn't got a 21-inch front. It's getting deflected a lot. But you know, we're doing it. We're doing a little trundle. And I guess this is what this bike's designed for, really. Although Tenere's not necessarily an extreme off-road bike, that 21-inch front, you've got a pretty good choice for off-road rubber. 19s are gonna limit you a bit. And yes, I realise I'm riding this very slowly. Suspension's quite soft as well. And was it 175mm of wheel travel? I think with my 100 kilos on board, I'm going to blow through that quite quickly. It's a good thing we're probably doing the pace we're doing rather than any faster. It's got to take the corners a bit more gently and loose stuff, because you do feel that front washing ever so slightly when you ask too much of it. Yeah, the throttle response is quite docile. Being a 180 degree crank, it's got you know, some slight direct access, learning to ride vibes about it. Yeah, it's just not giving me as much confidence in the corners as my T7. But you know, it's a likeable thing. Gear shift's nice and smooth. There's no quick shift blipper on this. Just going to slow it right down for this stuff. Not want that front end to do anything too untoward. You know, and the low speed balance is nice as well. Like through that tight downhill, you can really just weight the pegs and it does exactly what you want it to do. Hasn't got any nasty surprises. So this is the sort of terrain I've been doing on the Trans-Euro Trail, like easy going farmers fields. This stuff's fine. It's only when it gets a bit more technical and you've got a few rock drops and whoops and bits that I feel like the soft suspension, lack of travel is going to have you blowing through the fork and the shock travel a bit, but it's just agreeable. And I think, you know, it's one of those things that for the money, if you can accept the compromise of the wheel sizes, God, this dusty. It's a decent thing, a bit squirmy up here with the rocks. Just surf my way up this hill, I think. Yeah, the front's just kind of floating over all that stuff. It's not the nicest feeling in the world. You just sit back and let it go and it'll be alright, but hello, thank you. Bit of a rocky descent. Riding the Bridgestone Trail at ABR, you've got to be aware that there are lots of people who are, like me, fairly new to off-road riding. And last year, there were certainly some unexpected tumbles right in front of me. Hopefully it's not me this year, but just be prepared to stop quite quickly. Yeah, I just don't love a 180-degree crank. This is actually the closest I've ever come to riding a Kawasaki. Yeah, it's got quite a blary exhaust note. Hasn't got that 270-degree thumping character. I believe this doesn't actually really have riding modes. I think you can change the graphics on the dash between off-road and street, but from what I've done in my research, which is a bit, it's mostly just a graphical change. It doesn't change throttle mapping or anything like that. This is beautiful. Hi England. Nice to romp through with some purple flowers and stuff peeking out someone else's bash guard. Yeah, my legs having to get involved quite a lot now over those yumps. That get quite tiring after a while, I think, just because the suspension damping isn't sucking it all up for me. Yeah, clarted the sense stand. Yes, it has a sense stand. Sense stand, I think, comes as standard if you get the spoked wheel version. Front wash into a rut there, that wasn't a nice feeling. I'd like to get home with my collarbones intact. Now, Moto Morini does do a 450, which I'm not going to get a chance to ride at this event, but might book in at some point in the future. That seems to be where lots of manufacturers are going, a bit more manageable off-road. This is 233 kilos, I believe. I'd say it doesn't feel any heavier than my Tenere, really, but then I've not had to pick this up yet. Famous last words. I've got a bit of a hill climb coming up. Give it some braps, just avoid that soil. Bit thrashy sounding at the top end. Yeah, I can over all these ruts you can just hear the sensor stand going bum 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 on its springs. It's not loving life, that sensor stand. Forks bottomed out there. A little bit of on road. That engine sounds and feels quite gutless, not gonna lie. Sensor stand. Bit of gloop. Clarted that. It's a big one. Ow. Foot hit the ground there. Like a bit more ground clearance slash stop riding into the edge of the trail roadie, you knob. Right, a bit of a rocky trail here. A little bit sandy in places. So I've grown to trust this a bit more. It just needs, I do want to put proper tyres on it. I always say that, because I'm such a novice off-roader, I can feel the difference when there's SDRs on it. It's fine. 21-inch front would give me a bit more confidence in the front end as well, be a bit less deflecty off stones and things like that. But as a package, it's okay. I don't love the engine in terms of its character. Performance is fine, but it hasn't got the same woomph off the bottom of the throttle that a 270 crank parallel twin does. It feels a bit old school in the engine department. Ooh, first gear is a bit of a lurch fest. Switch gear wise, you've got uppy downy menu buttons, indicator horn, lights, and then your kill switch starter there. It's kind of basic, but the dash is nice and easy to read as well. Revs about 9,000 RPM. This one's only got 98 miles on it. 98 quite dusty miles. So I would say if Yamaha Tenere is Branston baked beans, the best beans, this is possibly Asda. It's got the same components, same sort of engine-ish, but it falls short in terms of flavour, in terms of not having that 270-degree crank, and the throttle response is a bit iffy down low as well. And suspension is very soft. It's very soft. I'd get a second-hand Tenere, to be quite honest. I remember this bit. There were lots of people falling off here last year. I think you go downhill through a little hedgy bit and across the front of a hill, so you need to get on your uphill peg. Tim, talking to you. This grass is actually surprisingly slippery as well. That's the hardest bit, you did it. Remember this bit, this is a dust bowl. Whoa, shit. Bottomed out the forks, completely lost grip with my actual hands. That hurt quite a lot. Okay, some more facts about the bike while my brain is working. It comes in red, white and black. There we go. It's got a 3-year warranty and it's available from, well, wherever they sell Moto Morinis, to be honest. Oh, I still got front ABS on. Yeah, we couldn't work out how to turn all the ABS off. I can lock the back a little bit, but the front is still on. We can work it out. I can't see the floor. So the engine does pull from low down. But it's not the most urgent of creatures, shall we say. I'd say the standard of riding has been pretty good. I think obviously it's the first day and it's very hot, so people might be electing to not do as much riding as in previous years. Whereas last year we had all sorts of idiots on enduro bikes just like standing up the inside, sitting down, while there were people on big GSs and things like that. But then what a nightmare event to try and police. Be open to novice riders, pitch this as a nice loop for novice riders, but actually in the UK you don't get many trails that go on this continuously. Which is doable on any kind of bike. So what do you do? Obviously you're going to have some keen off-road heads come here. They've got the TRF trail as well, which is harder, but they've had to put in a zero tolerance policy this year. One infraction and you're not allowed to ride on here anymore. This hay is so slippery. Oh my gosh. Nothing about Moto Morini is when you're sitting down, the pegs and the seat feel too close together, so my knees are bent up, kind of scrunched up underneath me a bit. I'm not really going to be able to see. I don't think it's be a terribly comfortable bike for someone my height, 6'3", even if you're just going to do on-road stuff. It's a bit compromised in quite a few areas. It's trying to stand up, you know. Low speed fueling, first gear, you need to be on your clutch game. Yeah, and the power comes in a bit of a surgy way at about 5,000 RPM. It's a bit flat until it isn't. Not ideal. It's not measured out in a nice smooth fashion, which is obviously what you want for off-roading. And Ragley Hall is in front of us. I can actually see my tent. I should say that this bike, I was talking about backache, has got a 3-position handlebar thing, so you can rotate it however you want. I'm going to be going up the easy bit here. Doesn't actually look that hard. I'm just hot and I want to go. Alright, final thoughts then. For the money, you're getting a 71 horsepower parallel twin bike with 19-inch front wheel, heated grips, heated seats, and a TFT dash. So tick, gives you good value for money. Downsides, I find the riding position a bit compromised on road and off it. It's not quite roomy enough for me sitting down. And standing up, pegs are a bit small, so you can fix that, but the handlebars feel a little bit low in this position. Fueling needs a bit of work, a little bit snatchy in first gear, and then it goes a bit flat spot as well. And then, yeah, it's just needs smoothing out. Frankly, I just would rather it had a 270-degree crank parallel twin. So this is a bit, thank you. It's a compromised beast, but you pay your money, you take your choice. Personally, I'd save up another 500 quid and get a second-hand Tenere 700. I think this is not really my thing as a road bike, and I think I've just been spoiled with my T7 suspension, because it just, even a stock T7 takes hits better than this, you maintain control better, and if you are going to go off-road, you want a 21-inch front wheel, what can I say? Anyway, thank you for watching. This was dusty, this was probably a bit too long and probably a bit boring to watch, but you know, I'm at ABR creating videos, what can you do? I shall see you next time when I've gone and sweated profusely. Oh my god, it's hot! Merci beaucoup!